No one likes weather. Airlines, passengers, crews, it's annoying. And sometimes it gets in the way of our schedules. This is how my 1 hour flight to Austin became 4 hours last week. I picked up an easy trip, one flight to Austin, overnight and deadhead back. I had a 5:08 p.m. report time, 6:08 p.m. departure, and I came home on day 2 via deadhead. Total pay was 15 hours and 45 minutes. Don't ask, it's an airline thing. Every airline is different. And when I got to the airport, it was delayed a lot, by like 2 hours. So I went to the Capital One Lounge. I got a venture card recently. It's free for me to get in. Why not go inside? Except I only had one t-shirt, no polo shirt. I had a skeleton bag because I only had a short overnight. While I was there, I got reassigned. I didn't know this until I went down to the gate for my original flight, and there was another first officer there who was operating my flight. We discussed it, and I was reassigned his flight. He reassigned my flight because of legalities on his end. He was going to time out. So I head over to my new flight to Austin, which now included a Tampa overnight, but we'll get to that later because that was kind of late. I was not rested to go to Tampa. Neither was my captain, but we left from gate B7. We headed out to spot 122 as normal. Again, ramp controls, the ramp area, ground controls, the spots, and beyond. We were told to taxi at runway 36 right via Golf 10, Foxtrot, and I think Whiskey Quebec. But then when we were on Foxtrot, we were told to hold short of Whiskey Mike because there was a ground stop to Austin now. Yeah, weather kept getting worse. Eventually, we were told to go over and taxi onto the Hotel Sierra line and get behind UPS, where we shut down the engines for 2 hours. And during this sit, they still had us going to Tampa when we arrived in Austin. And it was to be getting to Tampa like midnight 30. Not likely. Again, that morning, the captain and I both got up at 5 a.m. and we expected to go to Austin, and that's it, with normal delays, but not going all the way to Tampa. The original first officer, they flew into Dallas, were delayed, and they would be illegal to fly to Austin and then on to Tampa that night. That's why we're doing their flight and they're doing our flight. Now, while we're sitting there waiting, we got multiple reroutes. This is our normal routing, 180 nautical miles straight down to Austin, very easy. Our first reroute was going out to West Texas, 480 nautical miles, really long. Third reroute, this one we did, 510 nautical miles, all the way out to West Texas and then down into Austin. We'll line up on runway 36 right. I took the leg. The captain, he was a really cool guy. He's very senior. He's number 185 in the company. By comparison, number 10,820. He could hold 777, 787 captain. He wants to fly the Airbus, and that's his gig. He does the easy flights. I love it. By the time we took off, it was nice weather in Dallas. No big deals. Taking off on runway 36 right, we took off and made a left-hand turn. We were behind that UPS plane. They were also going to Austin. We were about 20 miles in trail. So we took off out of DFW, made a left-hand turn, and we got slowed about 280 knots pretty quickly all the way down to Austin. It was a long flight. The people on board were happy to be going to Austin, but they were quite tired and delayed. Once we got down to Austin, there was still some weather in the area. And you know what? We say it all the time, but when people can see it out their window that it's lightning, it makes it a little more real. Now, again, it was totally safe. The weather was actually east of the airport, but it made for a good light show on final. Turn final for 36 left. This approach is a little bit tricky because the final approach fix is very close to the ground. It's closer than it normally is. Many pilots on my airline have been called by the airline for putting the gear down and flaps down too late because our normal, if putting the gear down is about, right at final approach fix, we have about 1,500 feet above the ground. In Austin, you're just about 1,000 feet above the ground at the final approach fix. So you have to configure early. Wasn't a big deal for me. I put the gear down, flaps down, full flaps. Coming in, we had a little bit of a quartering tailwind due to the storm off into the east, but beyond that, pretty straightforward. Made a very good landing on runway 36 left, and that's not where the fun stops because once we landed, again, Austin's a very big airport for my airline. We're the second biggest ones there after Southwest. Well, it's not enough. There wasn't enough gates. With all the weather delays, all the gates were full. So we waited a good 30 minutes to get into the gate. Not ideal, but we were on the ground. Of course, the flight to Tampa did end up canceling because they had no crew to fly it. But we, did the best we could. We got there again at 11:07 p.m. That's almost a 4-hour flight from Dallas to Austin. And the issue was the hotel we were assigned, the van stopped running at 11 o'clock. So what did we do? Well, we had to get our own way there. The airline reimburses us for this, right? It's not a big deal. But at first, I tried to go via Uber. I'm an electric car guy. So I ordered an Uber Green, Uber Electric. I couldn't get one. It kept canceling. So then we had to get in a cab. a very sketchy cab. The guy didn't wear a seatbelt the whole way there. It kept dinging. It was just sketchy. The captain paid for it, whatever. Nice clean hotel room, nothing special, but it was late and I wanted to go home early. So here it is at 11:55. Went to bed, and then the next morning I was ready to go at 5:30 in the morning, very short overnight. But again, all I was doing was dead heading home. The airline had me dead heading home in the afternoon. It's Saturday. I'm going to my family, so I left early. I'm still happy though. The hotel shuttle runs every half an hour, so they had a 5:30 shuttle. Wasn't a big deal. Again, I'm tired, but I'd rather be tired at home with my kids than tired in a hotel room. Hopped in the hotel shuttle with all the other people and got to the airport. Got a nice middle seat on a 737. Not ideal, but it is the seat going home. And that's it. So my 2-day trip was supposed to be Dallas to Austin overnight to head home. Got reassigned to something totally different, but I ended up doing my original trip in a different way. Sorry for the flight to Tampa canceled. It does happen. Have a fabulous day, and thank you for stopping by.